Hey guys, how are you doing? It's your girl Burney-Speaks here, coming to you tonight with Wednesday Words of Wisdom. Oh my goodness, I know it has been a mighty long time. I have taken such a sabbatical, and I can't believe that Wednesday Words of Wisdom, the first Wednesday Words of Wisdom, is on January 1st of 2020. So this just feels great. I really want you guys to go ahead and please share this live video. I have just a couple of nuggets that I'm going to share with you. I won't be before you long just because of time. We just got in from New York celebrating the new year with family, and I was like, yo, I gotta go live. So I had to come home, do my thing, and get ready for this live video. So I'm also streaming live via YouTube for the first time. And I just want to say hello to my YouTube viewers. I appreciate you guys. Please make sure that you like Burney-Speaks Life on both Facebook and on YouTube, because you don't want to miss any live videos that I do. And make sure you click that notification button over there in YouTube world so that you get alerts when I go live. Usually it's every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I look forward to you joining me. So, hey, tonight's topic is, what are the promises that were made over your life? And what a better time to discuss something like that than now, the first day of the year, the first day of a brand new decade for us. So we just ended the decade of the teens. Oh my goodness. And for so many of us, the teens was tough, man. I'm telling you, we got pulled, we got pushed, we got drugged through the mud. I don't know about you, but I sure did. I was extremely challenged in the 2019, 2017. I gained some wins, but I had a lot of hard losses, and it was really tough for me. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about on this first day of the new year, January 1st, 2020, is, what are the promises that were made over your life? And you guys know that when you might see someone, or you might go to church, or whatever it is, wherever you are, and someone might say to you, like, wow, you look like you should be XYZ, or wow, I see you doing this. Or maybe someone goes and they get prayer and they say, God said that you're going to be a millionaire. God said that you're going to own your own business. God said that you're going to be a pastor, a leader, or whatever it is. Even maybe God told you that you're going to be over a children's ministry, or even he told you that you were going to own a school. And today you might feel a little discouraged and frustrated because years may have gone by and none of these things have taken place yet. But I'm here to bring you reassurance on tonight, because I had to deal with myself first. And you guys that have been following me for a long time, you know that first, before I come to you, I am reflecting here with Shondell. I think about things that I go through in my life, and I try to really process them and see where can I make them relatable for you, so that you understand what's going on in your life. So I remember a few years back, I was told, I remember having a prophecy over my life, and they described my daughter. That came true. When that happened, I had my son at the time, and my daughter is the epitome of what I was told she was going to be. I was told what to name her. I was told to really nurture her and to be extra careful with her. And I've taken heed to that promise, because she is a promise that was given to me. I remember another time that I was described an office that I was going to be sitting in. And I remember when I got hired at the Nonviolence Institute, I was hired as a street worker. We didn't have our own offices. I didn't know when this word was going to come to pass. I didn't know what God was going to do for me, or when he was going to do it. And I remember getting promoted over there, and I ended up working in the summer jobs program. And I was the summer jobs coordinator at that program. And when I walked into the office, it was the exact same office that was described to me years prior. I remember sitting at the desk, and I just cried. I remember taking a picture and I posted because Facebook was extremely new. And I shared my testimony with some people and I was like, wow, look at God. Look what he did. Like, this is what he promised probably about 5 years prior to that even happening. And I sat in the exact same office with the exact same desk, the exact same decoration of what was said was going to happen for me. Some of you might not understand, and you might be saying, well, Shondell, those things happen for you, but they didn't happen for me. Fret not, because those were only little things that happened for me. I remember being told some other things that I'm still waiting for, but I want to encourage you today this is what I want to say. While encouraging you, I need you to understand that you have to put action behind the word that God gave you. You have to put action behind the promise. So if you were told that you were going to be XYZ, what are you doing to get to that place? Okay, that is my question to you. So if you were told that you were going to be an entrepreneur, or maybe no one told you that, that's just the dream that you have for your life, and you're doing nothing to get there, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to see the fruit of your labor. Why? Because there's no labor. So what are the promises that were made over your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? Now is not the time to be saying, new year, new me. Okay, we did that. We've been there. We've done that. Now's not the time to be saying, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to go to the gym and if you don't wake up at 7 to go to the gym, how are you waking up at 5 to go to the gym? Like, come on now. We really need to be realistic, guys. Like, this is a brand new decade. Like, y'all didn't just bring in a new year. We straight up ended a new decade. When some of us look back, like we probably graduated from high school 20 years ago. So that's 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to think about the time that's passing in our lives, and we have to stop questioning, when are these things going to happen for us? We have to stop looking at other individuals and seeing them grow and seeing promises come to pass and wonder why they're happening for them and they're not happening for us. Believe me, I'm guilty of it. Okay, I've been through so many things in my life, and I've allowed my traumas and my tragedies to arrest me spiritually. I have allowed them to keep me captive, even though some of you might not believe it, or you'll say, well, wow, Shondell, after you lost your son, you hit the streets running, you did this and you did that. Yes. Why? Because losing my son was very intimate. I lost the very thing that I gave birth to. So I was angry, and I took that anger and I wanted to make a change. I wanted to make a positive impact because I did not want that definition of a loss to affect me and my family in a negative way. I didn't want to be in jail. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be in Butler. I did not want to do that. So I had a choice. I would either take the loss of Devin and turn it into a passion of change and influence and power, and to try to help save another child, or I could roll over and die. So many people would love to see you roll over and die. So many people would love to see a tragedy hit you and then it kill you. They're waiting for your tragedy to kill you, but it can't. Why? Because there's a promise that is over your life, and it has to be fulfilled. Why? Because God is not a man that he can lie. God is not a man. He is not human. He cannot lie to us. If he told you that there is a promise over your life, you best believe me, baby boy, baby girl, that promise is coming to pass. It is up to you to do the legwork to allow it to come to pass for you. Why? Because William Winfield tells us all the time, it's about our legacy. So if we don't understand the importance of family, our legacy, our children, our namesake, if we don't understand any of that, we will never do the work that we need to do to get the promises that were promised over our life. or our lives. We will not see it come to pass because we continue to sulk, we continue to sit, we continue to moan, groan, complain. Let me tell you something. Life has not been perfect for me. So when you look at me and you think that I'm great and you think that I'm good and you want to know how is she going on, ask yourself, if Shondell has experienced those tragedies and I have experienced nothing, then what am I sitting back and complaining for? If I could watch her push and pull and do, then I need to keep myself a little more accountable. And I need to make sure that what was promised over my life comes to pass at any means necessary. Games are over. Do you hear me? We are not only in a new decade, it is a new day for you. God has allowed you to wake up, to see a new day, to get things going for yourself and your family. If you do not have the passion or the fire or the endurance to do anything for you, look at your kids, look at them babies in the eye and tell them that you don't love them enough to go hard for them. Tell them it's about me. It's not about you. I'm not going hard for you. Why? Because you don't deserve it and I don't love you enough. And I don't think that there's one person that is on this live, that is on this Facebook Live or on this YouTube Live that would sit there and look your child in the face and say, I don't love you enough to go hard for you. So what we have to do is we have to pull ourselves together. I took a whole sabbatical. I remember when the Lord told me I wasn't going live that Wednesday. I don't even know how long it's been that I wasn't going live, but y'all, do you think I cared? He said, rest. He said, rest. I needed to grieve my mother. It wasn't about any of you. Sorry, no disrespect. I love y'all. I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for watching my lives. I thank you for sharing my lives. I thank you for praying for me and my family. But I needed to grieve my mother. Why? Because it was a different loss. It was a different loss. My mother and I woke up to my mother's phone calls. I woke up to my mother's texts. My mother gave me life. My mother was my go-to. My mother was my best friend. She was my confidant. I never had to worry about my children when it came to my mother. I could work 40, 50, 60 hours and never have to worry about Davina or Devin being hungry, Davina needing a ride, Davina needing anything. Right now, I am lost, or should I say was. But God allowed me this time to become refreshed. He told me to go back to school. I had just lost my mother. And I was told to go to school exactly because, and that's just what he didn't want me to do. He didn't want me to continue pouring out from nothing. I had fumes. I was operating on fumes. And I'm telling you right now, I will be transparent as I know how to be. It was tough. And he said, enough. When I said, God, I can't, he said, my daughter, I know. Enough. Take rest. Is God telling you to take rest so that you can regroup, so that you can hear what he is saying to you? Because he's promised you some things, but you're so cloudy. You're so cloudy. You're so distracted. The enemy is throwing distraction after distraction after distraction to you. And he's sitting back and he's laughing. Why? Because he's the prince of the air. He knows where you're weak. He knows what family member is going to tick you off and piss you off. He knows just what they need to say. He knows just what they need to do. He knows everything because it's a pattern that he uses. So even if you watch closely, I watched Facebook. And I watched the memories as they came up, and they were patterns of things that was happening in my life. And I said, whoa, I had to take a step back. And I had to look and I had to debrief like, whoa, what's really going on? Like, this is really a pattern that's happening right around this same exact time, right around the same exact season, same days to be exact, in a different year, month after 2 months, maybe every quarter, but it was happening habitually. And I said, enough is enough. I shall no longer be, what is that? The hamster on the wheel. You don't want to be a hamster on a wheel in this season, sis, bro. You don't want to do that. You want to get in your lane and you want to go forward and you want to be able to reach your destination, because as long as you're the hamster on the wheel, what does he do? He goes in circles. He gets nowhere. There is never any progression. So yes, you have to break the cycle. You have to break the cycle. Ain't nobody coming from your right. Ain't nobody coming from your left to break that cycle. And one thing, my daughter had just binged on Greenleaf. And I'm the type of person that I don't really watch TV, but I was watching Greenleaf with her. And what I do is I listen for things in TV shows because I'm not a TV watcher. So when I do watch TV, I look for godly moments. And I remember the mother, the matriarch of the family, and I don't remember her name at this time, I'm sorry. And she said, in business, in life, in church, in anything, nothing can be 50-50. So whoever is telling you that your relationship has to be 50-50 is wrong. Why? Because if you're 50 and I'm 50, that equals 100. And guess what? There ain't no room for God. And I said, whoa. Why? Because God had been dealing with me about breaking yokes and breaking chains and changing some things off of my life so that I can progress and get to the promises that he promised for my life. And not just for me, but for Davina. And not just for Davina, but for her children. And not just for her children, but her children's children. Why? Because I need some grandkids. And whatever they end up doing, they are going to come from a blessed legacy and they're going to be set up. Why? Because I decided to obey the voice of God and to say, yes, Lord. I remember the promises that you have for me, so no more distractions. Away with the distractions, away with the foolishness, away with the toxicity, away with all the people who mean me no good, away with all the people who are trying to do me harm. And guess what? I will continue to go back into my prayer closet and pray for them because that's what I used to do. But now when you get distracted, you forget that you used to pray for your enemies. Why? The Bible tells you to pray for your enemies. So we cannot forget that principle. Because that's the principle that brings you to the next level, that next dimension, that next place closer to the promise that he has for your life. So in order for you to gain anything, to gain any headway, to do anything that you need to do, you have to remember, go back and say, Lord, I know that you promised me some things, but I really need to remember what you promised me because I think you said this, but I need clarity. I need you to remember, to not for God to remember, but I need you to help for me to remember the promises that you said that I was going to have. And you need to be able to walk into those promises. Why? Make the devil look like the liar that he is. He is the father of lies. He is a thief. And he means you no good. And he is here to bring you distractions over and over, habitually trying to distract you, trying to use the people that you love the most to hurt you. Yes, that's what he will do. So don't be dismayed and don't be shocked when the person that you love the most comes to hurt you. What? He thought that I was going to jump in the grave with my son. When we buried my son, that's what he wanted. He knows the promises that God has over me. He knows better than me. I just know them. He knows that when they're going to come to pass, he knows that they're going to come to pass. He knows. So he said, girl, you ain't worth living. Why don't you just go and kill yourself? You lost your only son. You lost the baby that you prayed for. And you think you deserve to live? Why don't you just go die? That's what he used to tell me. And I used to sit there and think and wonder if I was even worth living on this earth. And I remember so many people used to come and they used to basically torment me. I don't even know if these individuals even understood or knew what they were doing to me. But I said, my God, for you I live and for you I die, and I will not take my life. I know who you are, and I know that as I prayed for Devin to come to me, and that he chose me, and you allowed me to give him birth, that you took him away. That what the enemy made for evil, God turned around and he made it for good. He made it for good. Why? Because Devin was a great person. And he impacted this world in the most powerful ways. Oh, how I miss him. But how I live for him. And how I live for that little girl upstairs. I need to go. But I need y'all to know how much I love you. And I need you to remember who you are, and who you were called to be. I need you to sit back and reflect and understand and know that your Father is the Alpha, he's the Omega. He's the beginning and he's the ending. And whatever promises that he gave to you, do the legwork. Do the legwork. Why? Because he has equipped you to do the very thing that he's asking you to do. He assigned it to you. Only you can do it. Don't look at homegirl over there. Don't look at homeboy over there. Only you can do it. Why? Because he has graced you and he has anointed you to go ahead and produce the very plan that he has for your life. So for all of my executives on the line, all of my CEOs on the line, all of my entrepreneurs and business owners on the line, all of my CFOs, whoever you are, make sure that if that is not your title today, MD, PhD, whatever, if that is not your title today, and that is the title that you desire, and that is something that you pray for, and that is something that God said, yes, my child, do the legwork, do it, because only you can. I love you guys. I missed y'all so much. Please go ahead and share this live video. It's your girl, Shawnee Speaks. Smooches.